Chapter 18. Part 1. I barely make it on time to class. I wish for once I could make it to class early and not run late like I always am. I take off my headsets and spotted Chris in the seat next to mine. Is this where he plans to sit for the entire semester? I look out of curiosity to see if his friends might be here this morning, and with utter shock they are. Since his friends are here today, shouldn't he go sit with them? Nice of you to drop by. I thought you were going to ditch the exam, Chris teases. I roll my eyes. Yes, I was going to miss the exam, and next week I was thinking of missing the final too, I exclaim, and he chuckles. Hello, Chris. A girl says, standing next to the rows where we are seated. I look over Chris's shoulder to find a dirty blonde-haired girl with her breast almost popping out of her strapless shirt. Her shorts are incredibly short, with tears all over the fabric. Goodness, can the girl wear any less clothing? Why wear clothes if you're going to show a lot of skin? Just come naked to class. Hello, Meg. Chris groans, keeping his eyes focused on his notes that we had studied yesterday. I haven't seen you at the parties for a while. Is everything okay? Meg asks. Yeah. Why wouldn't I be? He glances up from his notes to meet her green gaze. I just thought, she begins, but is soon cut off by Chris. Just because I haven't been to those lame-ass parties, doesn't mean I'm not okay. I'm fine, just been busy, and don't ask what I've been up to because it's none of your business, he says when he turns his attention back to his notes. Apparently, I'm not the only person he interrupts. Okay, I won't. Geez, someone is pissed. Anyway, are you coming to the party on Friday? She asks. Yeah. Maybe, he answers. Are you coming? I look from side to side to see if it's me she's talking to, and I know she is speaking to me when I notice her eyes locked on mine. I'm about to shake my head no when she laughs and says, Why am I asking you? I know you never go to parties. You are too much of a goody two-shoes, Susie. Excuse you. I'm not a goody two-shoes. She wouldn't have called me that if she knew me in the past. I used to go to a lot of parties, I would dance and drink, and after I started drinking everything else becomes a blur. It's Sushiana, and yeah, I'll come, I say with a smile I can manage, but my inner thoughts want me to tackle this bitch. I don't feel like fighting, just calm down, Sushiana, and focus on your breathing, breathe in, breathe out. Chris looks up at me and shock is clear in his expression, and Meg shakes her head in disbelief. I don't know why I said I'll go to that party. I don't want to go back to those parties, not after what happened. Memories, mostly a bad memory, floods my mind. But I push them behind me because right now, I would say anything for her to stop acting like a bitch toward me. You're sure you don't want to stay home and read your books? She mocks me. How does she know I stay home and read? She doesn't even know me. Okay, I do stay home and read. She must have seen me around campus reading, but I would not let her talk to me this way. No. I'm going. Maybe you shouldn't go because I think there are no bitches invited to this party, I smirk, staring up at her. You don't want to mess with me. Her eyes narrow and she seems surprised at how I'd stand up for myself. Excuse me. You did not just call me a bitch. She yells, and I look around the room to find everyone staring at me and Meg. Great, cause a scene. I growl. No, I didn't. I'm just looking at one. As I say the words out loud, everyone gasps throughout the room. I know I'm being disrespectful, but I don't let people push me around, and I'm certainly not going to let this bitch push me around. She steps closer trying to get towards me, and I stand up from my seat. I glare towards her to bring it on. Right now, I'm thanking Camille for teaching me how to fight. I ball my fists to my side, waiting for her to try and hit me, but Chris stands up, blocking her path to get to me. Everyone, take your seats and clear your desks, except for your pencils. Exam time. Professor Young announces when he strides into the classroom. This isn't over, Meg says and gives a dirty look. Meg, go sit down, Chris demands. She gives me one last dirty look before she goes to take her seat. I sit back down, huffing. What a fucking bitch. Chris sits and turns his back to make sure Meg's sitting down, and she is. He then turns back around to face me, and I can see a huge smirk on his face. Why are you smiling at me? I huff and I try to get my breathing under control. I'm just shocked at what happened. I mean, no one has ever stood up to Meg before, until now. I just can't believe her. How dare she? She doesn't even know me, Chris. I mean, who does she think she is to talk to me like that? I whisper, so no one will hear me, but I hope Meg hears me. Because I'm not afraid of her, I could take her white skinny ass anytime. Professor Young comes towards us. Is everything okay over here? He asks, concernedly. Chris and I both nod. Yeah, everything is okay, just almost got into a fight with Meg in your class today. Nothing to worry about. Professor Young hands Chris a stack of exam papers. Take one and pass it amongst yourselves. He smiles and Chris nods. Chris takes one and passes it to me, and I pass it along to the gentleman next to me. Mr. Young takes a seat at his large desk in front of the room and pulls out his timer. You have an hour. You may begin. He instructs us, and I begin to circle the bubble sheet as soon as he said, begin. After I finish the exam, 10 minutes until our time is up, I let out a breath of relief. I glance to the right of me to see Chris already done with his arms crossed and his eyes closed. He's done already. I guess studying together paid off for him. The timer beeps and Chris's eyes fly open. I quickly divert my eyes away and look back at my test. Pencils down, everyone. Turn in your papers on my desk and see you all on Wednesday, Mr. Young says, dismissing us. I watch as Meg goes up to the front and turns in her paper. She locks her eyes on mine and we both glared at each other. I don't take my eyes off of her until she leaves the classroom. When she leaves, I look toward Chris. Do you want me to turn in your test for you? I ask Chris, just to be nice. He stretches his long arms into the air and yawns. Was he taking a nap? Sure. Thank you. No problem, I say as I grab his and my test. I stand and take our tests to the front, setting them on Mr. Young's desk. I wonder when he finished his test. I didn't pay attention because when I'm focusing on anything, I don't realize what's going on around my surroundings. Chris is standing by the doorway, waiting for me. He holds my bag and hands it to me. Thank you, I say, and he smiles. We head outside. Today is beautiful and not too cold. It's warmed up since this morning, but I have my jacket on because it's still a little chilly. We decide to sit out at the table to discuss how we're going to arrange on studying together for the final. I can't fail this final or I'll think I won't pass the class, he says with concern in his voice. Don't worry, I said, I will help you to not fail this class, so don't stress about it, I assure him and give him a charming smile. My smile quickly fades as his friends come to join us. Hey, you're Susan. Right? The boy with the nose and ear piercings asks. He smells of cigarettes with a mixture of marijuana. I slide the sleeves of my jacket further down my arm and put it over my mouth and nose to block the smell. Actually, it's Ashleymarie, I say calmly, trying not to sound hurtful toward him. My bad. I'm Adam, he gives a cocked smile. Something inside of me is frightened by the way he smiled at me. This is Ethan and John. Adam introduces his group of friends to me. They nod and smile at me. The brown-haired boy with chestnut-toned skin and yellow eyes named Ethan has no piercings, but a distinct snake tattoo is on the left side of his neck. John has dark green eyes, ivory-toned skin, and golden hair. He has no piercings and no tattoos, I can visibly see. Adam turns his attention to Chris. Hey man, I haven't seen you in a while, have you been hiding from us? He puts his hand on Chris's shoulder. Why is Chris not answering him? He stares back and forth between me and Adam, he looks nervous. He eventually answers him. No. Of course not. He glares at me and hands me his keys. Ashleymarie, why don't you go to the car? He demands. I hear his anxiety coming out of his voice and worried in his eyes. What's going on? No. I'm not moving, not until I find out what's going on.